everybody, and welcome back to Gale and Darling Take on Team Galactic. It's only been a week since we started taking on Team Galactic.
Got it.
We've wreaked havoc in their base. It's been a long-term secret organization. Infiltration. This has been our informant, the gruntiest of grunts. So we're finally ready to actually get to the inner echelons of the organization and take down the mastermind.
Let's go.
Which kind of makes me nervous because after a long break, I feel like I don't know my Pokemon as well as I need to.
It's still just Pokemon.
Yes, but it's a Nuzlocke. It's not just Pokemon. It's Pokemon, but with consequences.
That's creating the halls the issue. If we wanted to sneak in, we should have got a different haircut.
Yeah, we really should have. It's one of my favorite things about Pokemon Legends Arceus is that they do give you the option to have that stupid bowl haircut in turquoise.
It's great.
And they give you the Galaxy outfit, so if you wanted to, you can just go out and be like, alright, I'm just gonna be an actual galactic grunt. Just wander the hills.
We are a Galaxy Grunt anyway, so. Nice.
Suck it, Glameow. Yo, yo, yo.
Nice.
Suck it. I don't know why I felt the need to say that.
It's first fight back. You're doing good.
It's okay. You're doing okay, honey. You used one Dark Pulse and you defeated the Glameow. Truly, I am a wonder. I am so strong. Alright, so this way is the way to, I believe, out?
This is a bop, though.
It really is. The music's like...
Nintendo loves their saxophones between the Mario games and, like, the Pokemon games. And loves just a really good saxophone line just on repeat.
You know,
That man has not slept in weeks.
He's been waiting the entire time for us. He's just been like, I heard there were intruders. I will stay here until they get here. I will not let them pass. And then like 3 days pass, and he's like, woo!
That or he just has a really bad contouring job.
Yes. One thing I was going to say though about the music is it feels kind of like that the music is the one thing like all Pokemon fans can agree on for like every entry, is that Pokemon music in general, it's just bops.
Well, and it keeps getting better. And
it's just like, you don't go to a Pokemon song and go, man, I really hated that tune. Like, maybe it's not your favorite, but it's never like, oh, that's an objectively bad song. They're all pretty iconic, pretty fun. It's nice to listen to all the different, like, themes and kind of versions like they go to in each generation,
even the jingles as well, like that little just the the you just got healed sound effect, the level up and all those. I loved how awkward it felt in Arceus not having some of those jingles, like not having like that sound or the Poke Center sound, right?
Yes.
Hey, we found a key.
Yes. The key was this way, and now we can go back and get some more goodies the other way. Hello, sir. Set free all Pokemon, all nature. Well, then own it all.
I thought we were destroying them all.
We are destroying them all, but he doesn't know that yet.
Oh.
But yeah, Legends Arceus is funny to me because I watched a video someone put out a day after the game came out, which already, look, I'm gonna be quite honest here. If you put out a video about a subject, and the subject has been out for like 24 hours, I don't care if it's a book, or if it's like an art piece, or, the only thing would be like, oh, okay, someone's like a talking thing, where somebody's like, hey, I'm talking and I'm saying something incredibly like racist or homophobic or
I have no clue where you're going with this.
Yes. Anyway, my point is, for 99% of things, if it has only existed on this planet for mass consumption for less than 24 hours, and you make a review about it, I automatically think your review is trash.
I think what you're trying to separate news from experience.
Yeah, like because like there are some things
Like,
that
you
you
would
can
never
immediately react to,
Yeah.
but it's for stuff like,
But
hey,
an experience has to settle.
Yeah.
It's like a steak. After you cook a steak, you let the meat rest. It gets to the proper temperature and it kind of settles, and it's better afterward because of that. An experience, you gotta take some time to reflect on your thoughts. You gotta look back and say, okay, what do I really remember? You know?
You're losing me now. Now you're losing me. But yes,
Okay,
in
Spider-Man.
general, okay, we don't need to keep making up metaphors for this. We can move
I
on.
was just gonna say with Spider-Man, like walking out of the theater, I was not super happy. Looking back, I really enjoyed it.
That seems like a controversial opinion you just threw out there.
Again, I don't think it was the movie's fault. We had problems with the movie.
We did. We purposely went and we didn't want subs on it, and they did put us in a theater with subs, even though
And we were like really bad seats. It was really loud and obnoxious in the theater. Just not a great experience, right? Mm-hmm. So my interpretation of the movie was flavored by that. So I gave it some time, let it rest, and after that, it's much better. You gotta just get some distance from it, you know?
All good for you.
So we're trying to fight everyone?
Kind of. I don't want to get too much experience because we are still fairly over-leveled. Again, not our fault. But my point, before we all went into like 3 different metaphors about my point was that I saw a review of Legends Arceus that came out the next day after it had just been put out to everybody else.
We have the wrong Pokemon in.
Yeah. And so, one of the things they were talking about, they had many opinions that I disagreed with in general. But one of the things they talked about was like the music, and they were like, man, yeah, I know that for open world games they like this atmospheric piano music, but my god, was it like cringy and like awkward and not good. And literally all I could see on Twitter was people being like, man, I love that nighttime music, that when that midnight like music hits, it's so chill, and I love the music in there as like atmospheric. And then you get to certain areas and they do the remix of the original Diamond and Pearl soundtrack. Like you go into Eterna Forest and it's Eterna Forest's music, even though you're just in the forest in the area that will become Eterna Forest. Like, I think that's super cool. And I was just like, how can you have such a bad opinion? Like, I almost wanted to make a rant video about that video because I was like, your opinions are garbage. And that's an awful way to go at it. I never want to be like, hey, let me make a targeted video at one particular person because your opinion's garbage. But it really made me feel like, man.
But Gale, how many dislikes did that video have?
According to YouTube, 0.
I mean, there is, right? There is a pressure to, get your content out the fastest. And especially at this point, there are plenty of creators who make their bread and butter just on bad opinions, bad content, and they make their living on hate.
Yeah.
And
that's always the
props to them. You're an awful person, but you know what? You're making that dough.
Yeah, and that's always that's the tough part, and why I like to separate my rants from reviews and stuff, because it is really easy to go into something and say, the point is that everyone's going to be much happier if I just talk about how much I hate this thing. And you know what, that's the thing, that's the parts that you don't like are inevitably going to be the parts that you have the most to say about. Like, that's just kind of how the human brain works. If you don't like something, you have 1,000 ways to say how you don't like it. If you like something, you kind of... Sometimes if you're not someone who's very intimate in the industry, a lot of the way you have to say you like it is just, yeah, I like it.
Well,
I feel good when I see this thing.
At the same time, like, I have plenty of ways of saying I like something. Many of them are not verbal. Many of them are like hand expressions and like facial movements and like trying to enunciate words that just aren't there.
Yeah, and that's true too. So it's just, things, being negative about stuff definitely gets you more attention on YouTube. It gets you more attention in comments and stuff because...
Why did we leave?
Because that's only part 1 of the base. We now have to go to part 2 of the base.
Oh.
We got the key to get into part 2. Don't worry about it. I've got the map in my brain.
Okay.
But it's so easy to be, negative and get confirmation from that. Because it's especially, like, now in the age of social media and stuff, unless something, like, at least for a good couple fandoms and stuff, when you watch a show or a property, a lot of people feel, they feel like they want to express how they feel. And so if it's a show that's really popular, you're going to get a lot of people liking it, and you're going to see that everywhere every time you see that show being talked about.
And that's why there were so many Arcane is Great videos.
Yeah. But also it means that, if you in particular didn't like a show, say, for example... Miraculous Ladybug.
If you had some criticisms that that every 12-year-old who watched it made you think that, oh, they hate this.
Yeah, it's like things can be super popular and super well loved, and then you feel like you're not, like that you're going crazy because you have these opinions, but everybody else seems to differ in those opinions. And then you see someone do a negative review of it, and they bring up the same issues you have with it. And suddenly you feel kinship. You are like, this person sees the same thing I see. They understand me.
Kinship. That's what you call it.
Yes, that's what I call it. But the point is that at that point, you... Sorry, trying to think and talk at the same time.
Hard.
Yes, it is very hard. But at that point, you're just like, hey, man, I want to see this person tear down all these things that I think are mediocre or have this thing wrong with them. And you get into this spiral of self-serving yourself, of being like, hey, yes, I'm always right. Look at me being such a higher, intelligent person, because I can see the flaws where everyone just accepts them and moves on from them. And that's always, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I don't know.
At this point, I feel like I had a point and then I no longer have a point. But in general, I just feel like it's very easy to be negative. It's a lot harder to be positive, and it's a lot harder to just be objective.
Well, Gale.
And that's because being objective is so freaking, like, that's not like an easy thing to do. That's a very difficult thing, and it's also like pretty much impossible to be perfectly objective. So you're just getting as close as you can get within your power, and you have to hope that you're good enough at reeling in your own emotions to really get that objective view. So it's a spectrum, and it's hard, but 24 hours is not enough time for you to actually care about that spectrum and think about it, especially with how long it takes to edit a video.
Thank you for the rant, Gale.
15 minutes in. Alright, I got another 15-minute rant in me. Let's go. Crack my knuckles.
I was laughing at how little damage they do. We are so good right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna have some struggles coming up with the bosses and everything, but like...
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think the levels are going to move upwards pretty quickly soon. We're gonna get to Mount Coronet, and then it's going to be like, here's underlings, and then here's a mini boss fight, and then here's another boss fight, and then here's a legendary fight. So I think at that point they're gonna start increasing the levels like really rapidly, and then we obviously have to go to Elite Four, and the Elite Four's in like Cynthia. I think she's got like a 62 to 65 level team.
Bring it.
Not right now. She'd smoke us. In fact,
I'm okay with this.
Once we're level 62 to 65, she might still smoke us.
Look, it's Cynthia. I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm not. It means we lost, and all our Pokemon are dead.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe the one in there is the correct one.
Is there anything in the fridge?
Hidden items? Hidden items? Hidden items? No?
Don't
no?
we have a device to check for those?
We do. I don't feel like pulling it out. You know, I feel like I have a talent for talking. Not talking in a sensible way, but just talking. I feel like it's a skill that not a lot of people, well, okay, probably a lot of people have, but I also have it. So, you know, I don't know how I will ever use that skill. I think my rant videos best exploit this skill of mine. But, you know, there were multiple times in, like, college and high school where people were like, you should join the debate team because you talk and you have no fear of talking. And I was like, no, they do not want me.
No, and as someone who did a bit of speech and debate, there are some things there you might like. There is a lot that you would not like in debate. One of my favorite debate strategies. I didn't do the debates, I didn't use it, but I was friends with all of them. I got to watch a lot of them. So debate is actually kind of a scorecard, right? It's about, you know, points that you bring up, how well you defend and support them, and then how, you know, how your enemy basically, or your antagonist or whatever, is able to effectively counter them or like counterproof them, right?
Yes.
So there's a strategy in debate. I don't remember what it's called. Which is say as much as possible. Like literally throw out as many points as possible so that your opponent cannot remember or effectively refute them all. And then during your closing, you just bring up whatever they didn't try to counter and say, look, they didn't even care about these ones. Clearly I'm right. And it can work.
I feel like I would suck at debate because there's all those like, hey, here are the types of arguments you can't use. And
logical fallacies, yeah.
Yeah, and I would break them all. Like, I acknowledge I probably use a ton of logical fallacies. I use examples, and I'm pretty sure when I use examples, sometimes they fall into logical fallacy examples instead of my intention with them.
Look, stop talking now. People who don't like your Miraculous videos, don't give them any cannon fodder. She admits she uses logical fallacies. This is the best show. No, I would like it, but I don't... there's a problem when we argue. And that is that I give in way too easily. And I compromise way too easily.
Yes.
But that's because the type of debating I would love to do is a Lincoln Douglas debate. Which is named after the famous debates between Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas, who would later go on to be presidential rivals as well. But they were campaigning against each other, I believe, for Senator of Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally just had hours-long ethical debates. And I mean, like, sometimes each of them would speak for an hour at a time, and the other person would have an hour to, like, respond, and they would just go at it all day. It was nuts. And it was over really serious topics, right? Like, one of their biggest debates was basically, they were both abolitionists, but it was like, what's the proper method of abolition? Let me get into every ethical every practical, every historic argument against this and why my way is better of this. And it would just go all day. Like, that's the politics I want to return to. Because that wasn't the filibuster, that was actually their way of getting things done, which is great. And I love doing that. But also, no one wants to do that.
Nobody's got time for day-long, hour-by-hour debates.
I have one friend who I do that with, and it's very rare. But it's usually over board games. That go all day, and we still don't finish. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. That or I lose, because I'm bad at board games. I like board games. I'm bad at board games. Look, I'm good at the discussion and the ethics parts, not as much the strategy parts.
I have a tumultuous relationship with board games. I'm not very good at being competitive. I'm like a really bad, like I'm emotionally a very bad competitive player. I get very invested and I get very mean very quickly.
Yes.
I try not to get competitive as much as possible because of that. It's why I don't treat YouTube as a job, because if I did, I would be an awful human being. I don't do sports. I don't try to compete in anything at all.
That's not why you don't do sports, Gale.
It's a reason. It's a reason. Don't insult me. But
let's debate it.
I do. So board games are kind of a natural enemy because it makes me feel competitive, and then I get very butthurt when things don't go my way.
Yep.
And part of that is I try very hard to strategize certain things. And if someone else makes an illogical move that screws me over, for whatever reason, they're just like, hey, I know this is technically the optimum way to play, but this is what I want to do, and because of that, I'm screwed over. I keep silent about it. I try not to be verbally, like, abusive when I'm competitive, but I sit so quietly, deathly.
You are literally too stupid to win against.
Yeah, I am deathly quiet, and I seethe internally, and I just am not a joy to play. I love a good board game, but I hate being competitive. Are you ready to fight the boss?
Yeah. I have been for the last 10 minutes.
We were facing another person during those 10 minutes. Don't pretend!
Oh, no, I've just been raring to go.
It's foolhardy to try to stand up to Team Galactica, though I hardly expect to see the trainer's a meow child. A 10-year-old. No wonder no one believed you about the bombs.
I'd heard our commanders had a rough time with you. That's why they've all been fired, like any sane organization would do.
I know why you're here. I can sense it in you.
That's creepy.
It's about Uxie, Mess Spirit, and his elf, right? You want to save them.
I just want to fight crime. You're a bomber, dude. Like,
I read a comic about a man named Batman, and I thought I could be Batman too. Go, Batarang. Batarang comes out. Batarang is a level 100 Infername.
But him being like, oh, this is about the Pokemon, isn't it? Like, no, my guy, you blew up stuff.
I mean, it's also about the Pokemon. I would like to free them, yes, but it's mostly about the bombs.
Look, these little lake pixies, cool, sure, but like,
they're embodiments of the brain.
He's got bombs. That should be reason number one.
You want to get rid of the embodiments that gave us emotions, willpower, and knowledge?
I mean, clearly we don't need them anymore. We've got all those things. I want to stop the man who's slinging bombs left and right and trying to destroy the world.
You're right. We should not care about the Pokemon of space that we're gonna save because we already have space. If the god of space dies, who cares? It's just space.
I didn't say those things aren't important. I'm saying clearly the number one priority
should be the things that created humanity and help humanity to function.
he would probably...
All of humanity's brains?
He would probably
A bomb!
have a harder time continuing to cause them or any other Pokemon problems if we got rid of the bombs! Do you see my point? And Jesus wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer. Just fight him. just press A.
I no longer have any need for them. I am finished with them. But despite that, I'm gonna fight you anyway. I could care less, but I still want to fight you anyway, as you are a remarkable specimen.
Again,
And it
creepy.
has nothing to do with you, but I'm gonna fight you anyway, because look, I really have no reason to fight you.
Maybe we just call like the cops on this guy. Like, look, I'm a 10-year-old, and he keeps saying things like, "I can sense you, and I'm a remarkable specimen."
And I will make you regret paying heed to your heart.
Yeah, maybe like, oh, and by the way, he's a terrorist. But like,
I think he sent out a Murkrow first. Or a Sneasel. Either way, Boo was not the right choice, but I thought I could switch him out. That's okay, Boo! We're fine!
you got this, Boo.
It's a baby Murkrow. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It is level 40 though, which, like I said, level's probably going to start pumping up.
This is kind of that area where all three of them were like kind of in the same space, right?
Yeah. Taunt me.
Oh no, we've been taunted.
Alright. Volt Switch. That should take it out. Wonderful. And we get a free switch in for the next Pokemon. But we don't know what the next Pokemon is. Okay, I won't say I know. I believe he has a Sneasel.
Okay.
And...
So Blaziken.
But I'm trying to think of what is... probably a Golbat is his third
So I mean,
Pokemon.
we can't go wrong with Blaziken.
Golbat beats Blaziken.
Oh, how?
Flying beats fighting?
Right, you're fighting as well. And we can't do Geodude because it might have ice.
I mean, it would be super effective against both.
Yeah.
I think.
Up to you, Miss.
We can send in Baskin just to be like, what?
You know, it's not going to be weak to anything. It might work.
Actually, Dark beats Baskin No, wait, he's just water. Yeah, we could do that. Cyrus definitely does not have a grass or electric type.
And we have Ice Beam.
We do have Ice Beam. But it won't be necessary.
You sure?
Yes. It is awaiting our instruction. Oh no! Not a super potion? Okay.
Yeah, you can afford better, dude.
Do you have a whole criminal enterprise and you can't afford hyper potions? Or max potions? Or do you just not have enough gym badges it hasn't unlocked in your, like, your supermarket yet?
No, he just spent all the money on bombs. Am I gonna get us, like, demonetized if I keep saying bomb?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do we make any money on this?
Why do we do these ones again?
For fun! This is fun, darling! Remember, this is fun! Also, it's attack and accuracy rolls, and that's a little bit terrifying. Like, not too terrifying, but like, you know, it has the possibility.
Does it have a mouth?
Yes! Right there. It's a normal creature.
I don't see a mouth.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's got nothing on us.
Unless it's using that to lure us into a sense of security. No, it worked fine. Good job, Baskin. Interesting and quite curious. You think someone who trained for all of, like, 5 minutes wouldn't be as great as me, who was trained for, like, 40 years?
He also looks like he has golf ball dimples on his face, where his cheeks suck in.
Yes.
Yay, we're strong.
And the basis of your power is your compassion towards Pokemon. How wasteful. Such emotions about mere illusions. That's what, you know?
What?
That's the thing. That's the thing I don't understand about some evil plots. And I'm going to be quick about this because we are at time for this episode. But so many evil villains are like, man, you're too emotional. That's why, like, you make illogical decisions. And it's just like, what do you call your decision to, like, take over the world? Did you do that based on logic? Or did you do that based on emotions? Because, like, 90% of the time, they were just as emotional about something. And they were like, the logical conclusion is for me to kill everyone, for me to steal this ultimate power.
The logical conclusion for Lysanderoth is that beauty rules the world and we need to destroy it to be beautiful enough. Like, that's the logical thing.
Yeah, so, like...
Sorry,
like
Lysander. Lysanderoth is the... Oh my gosh, okay.
Yes. But Cyrus
Wait,
is
did
just...
we get the Master Ball?
Yes.
Why is he just giving us this stuff?
I don't know, because...
Why are you such a bad boss?
Because he doesn't make emotional decisions, and so therefore he makes the logical
What's
decision
the logical
to
decision?
give us
And
the
hey,
Master
you
Ball.
beat me. You might beat me again later. Here's a Master Ball anyway.
I'm off to Mount Coronet, where you and I first met. I'm telling you that now, so you can stop my evil plans. I'm going to ascend to the peak of Mount Coronet, where you and I met. Just in case you want to stop my evil plans,
This
I'm going to bring about a
organization
new
sucks.
meeting.
You are a bad boss, and I'm taking this to Glassdoor. I will leave
I am the boss now.
strongly worded review of this company on LinkedIn.
I have taken over. I have gotten a promotion and have relieved my former associate of his all of his duties and responsibilities. I am now the leader of Team Galactic, and we're going to do things my way.
First off, get rid of all the bombs. Second off, all of you get a haircut. That's
All of you dye your hair.
Only two conditions. No more CEO.
Alright, and with that, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye! Hi there, it's the end of the video, my friend. Hit the bell if it was okay, I'm sure I'll make good content someday. I'll play some games or do some drawing, Pokemon and fights with darling, video essays and reviews. I couldn't do it without you, so thanks, like and subscribe.